Mom, I'm sick of this.
And Maria's like, let's get her naked. I'm not gay, what?
What is this?
Hello and welcome to Pass the Hot Sauce, a Roswell podcast. I'm Aliza Ora.
I'm Lisa Abigail.
And I'm LaRena Rose. We're here to talk about every episode of the 1999 WB series Roswell, one episode at a time and spoiler-free. Today we are discussing Season 2, Episode 7, Wipeout.
According to Google, this is the one where the skins make all the humans in Roswell disappear, turning it into a ghost town. Their assault ends with the death of one of the aliens. This episode was written by Gretchen J. Berg and Aaron Harberts. This is the second of 8 episodes they wrote together. This episode was directed by Michael Lang. I'm not sure. It's his only episode of Roswell. He also directed episodes of The X-Files, Hercules, Buffy, Angel, Beverly Hills 90210, Dawson's Creek, The OC, and One Tree Hill. So he was making the rounds.
All over the WB.
Yes. And since then, he's continued working in TV. He fairly recently did some episodes of Criminal Minds and Bones, so you might see his name here and there. This episode originally aired on the 13th of November, 2000.
All right.
Also, y'all, this director, the episodes of Buffy that he directed are Surprise, Band Candy, Bad Girls, and Pangs.
Oh.
Like, those are some good episodes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
All right, so we open this episode on, like, a good old-fashioned-looking tour bus. I love a good vintage tour bus. Why do TV shows never have current-looking tour buses? They always look like they're out of, like, the 1950s.
It's true.
Well, if it came from Skin City,
That's
I don't
true.
think they had anything terribly new there. I mean, they had a stagecoach museum. It's impressive that they had anything with a motor inside it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm surprised they're not in a stagecoach.
I feel like TV shows always have, like, super out-of-date buses, though. Maybe they figure it's better to be decidedly vintage than, like, try and do something modern and then have it look dated later.
And now everything's, like, fully wrapped in ads all the time.
Yeah. That's
It's not
true.
fun to put on your TV unless you're looking for some product placement.
This is a special bus. I don't know if anyone noticed that it says special on top.
Yeah.
It's a very special bus, and we'll get into that later because I have theories about why it's special.
Okay.
Oh.
A theory.
Okay. We go to the Evans house where we are denied in our streaming and DVD versions the Good Charlotte song Complicated, which is a real travesty.
I loved Good Charlotte.
Instead we get Melodyne's I'm Over My Head. Whatever. Yeah, Good Charlotte, when I was a kid, I mean, when I was in, like, middle school, they're a Maryland-based band, and I grew up in Maryland, so they were kind of a big deal.
Cool.
Oh. We actually see a parent,
Yay!
and
Yay!
the presence of the other parent is, like, implied.
Implied, at
We don't
least.
see him, because I'm sure he's not there. But, yeah, she yells up to Philip.
I love their way of, like, getting around that actor either not being available or them just, like, not wanting to bring him in. They're just like, hey, honey, food is ready. Are you coming down?
I was interested to know what y'all think of the exchange between Max and Isabel, where he's like, why are you avoiding me? And she's like, I'm not avoiding you. We destroyed a race of people. I'm just trying to get past it. And he's like, are you sure there's nothing else?
Nothing
I was
else.
like, Maxilla. Like,
Genocide is a
that's the
big thing.
You dummy. She's like, oh, no big deal. We just murdered a bunch of people. Like, could it be more clear that she's being sarcastic? And he's like, oh, okay. Well, if there's nothing else. Like, what?
Oh, Max. Oh, Maximilian.
Yeah. I know, she's the only one that, like, acknowledges at all that they just, like, killed an entire race. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, I guess they didn't actively kill them in that moment, but they have, in theory, left them to their doom by destroying their chance at survival.
Well, and they also, like, whatever the husks are, we know they're, like, a sentient life form. So they killed whatever the husk species is. Although the husk species probably wasn't thrilled to be genetically manipulated in that way, but, like, they still were, it seems like they were creatures who had some awareness. And
it was overall like a pretty serious thing to do. It makes sense to be kind of taking some time to process that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this scene, Diane Evans is serving a frijole frittata that she claims Martha Stewart serves to her guests in the Hamptons. From the research I did, Martha Stewart does not have a frijole frittata recipe. She has like a ranchero frittata, a Mexican frittata. She even has one with blistered green bean and corn. There is no frijole frittata. It sounds gross to me too, which is why they like get some juice to wash it down with.
So, okay. If you're not into frittatas, may we interest you in some fish that Kyle and Jim are catching, which you can't actually have because Kyle throws it back in the river.
Jim is so upset about it.
Fantastic. So is Kyle a vegetarian or a vegan now?
I don't know if he's necessarily vegetarian or I mean, I guess maybe that would make sense. But
would a vegan person be going fishing in the first place?
I don't think
it still
they
causes pain and terror to the fish.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that his like little catch and release style it's pretty adorable. He's like, oh, look at how beautiful this is. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah.
Jim is like, the Bagley Bangler does it every time. We're going to be eating like kings. And Kyle is like, totally. Plop.
Bye, fishy. Have a great life.
It would have been nice. He could have mentioned it to his father ahead of time of like, hey, I know in the past we've kept fish and eaten them. I don't plan to do that this time.
Like, I would like to just catch and release and like hang out together. Like, that sounds like a lovely day to me.
Dad.
Yeah. Kyle also, when he puts the fish back, says, it's the circle, Dad, the circle of life. And aside from obviously immediately triggering the Lion King song, I was like, no, baby, I don't think that is the circle of life. That's not what that means.
The circle of life is you eating the fish so you can survive.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't make sense. He's wrong about that, but he's still so cute.
I know. He's so sweet and adorable. I am enjoying this new Kyle.
Yeah, I love him. Okay, the music that is playing in the next scene as they're driving in the Jetta, it's like this intense trance music. And I looked it up and it's called Let It Go by Cul-de-sac, as in cul-de-sac. I don't even know. But do you know, Lisa, if this was the song originally in it or not?
Yeah, so this is the original. This says it's Paul Van Dyke or Dick, Tell Me Why.
So different song.
But it seems to imply it's the same one. What did you say it was called?
This is called Let It Go by Cul-de-sac. Cool. And the song is, I mean, what I was hearing on the DVD, the lyrics are saying Let It Go. So it seemed like it was the right
Oh. Well, then I don't know. If my LiveJournal friend is incorrect, then that's where I get all my information from. So if she's incorrect, I'm incorrect.
I have noticed at least a few mistakes in there where it says it's the same song, but it's definitely not the song that it has listed. So this might be one of those times.
Also, there may have been a bunch of different versions, and it's possible that it's accurate for the versions that she has listened to and watched.
Yeah, because I think this was just like probably whenever the first pressing of the DVDs came out. So if they changed it at any point since then. Anyway, okay, cool. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible.
Also, what does Maria mean when she says something about, like, her dad is totally Kathy Lee?
I have no idea. I did not understand that at all. But in Googling it, I found that Kathy Lee is starring in a rom-com that's about to come out, and it's her and Craig Ferguson. And I'm happy that there are rom-coms coming out for people in, like, their 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Actually, I think she's, like, 67. So, good for them. Finding love in Scotland in a castle or something. It looks adorable.
Sounds
I don't
great.
like rom-coms, but, you know.
Good for her.
Looks cute.
I like the occasional
rom-com. But yeah, I have no
rom-com.
idea what they mean. Maria also says that he sent him 30 miles out of town on an errand, and then we find out later that they went to Dexter, right? Is that the name of the city?
Yeah.
Which is 18 miles away, so maybe she meant round trip.
Yeah, or she could just be,
Maria-ing.
Yeah.
Hyperbolizing.
Yeah, hyperbolic. But Maria-ing is also appropriate.
I'm sad that they couldn't find a way to bring Alex with them so that all of our human characters could conveniently be out of town.
We only get him for like a minute, and he wasn't in the last episode either.
Yeah, I know. It's a bummer. I'm glad Jim's back, though.
Yeah, I knew you would be.
And this is when we first see the bright green glowing phallus.
Yeah.
That, in case you didn't notice that it was a phallus, it is
definitely
perfectly
a phallus.
Positioned.
Yeah.
on that
Okay,
billboard.
so yes, Aliza, we are totally on the same page. In my notes, I have been calling this the glowing green phallus of doom.
I've been calling it the green dildo.
Nice.
I've been calling it the glowing phallus.
Yeah, I also, it made me think of, remember that exhibit that Dear Sweet Milton had in the UFO Center? That was
Rods?
just rods. I was like, this is the rod! This is what they were talking about!
Oh my
It's
god,
a
this
rod.
belongs in that exhibit.
Yes!
I did think this was like a little out of character for the show. You know, they don't even say sex. They say like making love and they insinuate things. And then they have like a big green phallus that is like blatantly sticking out of like a crotch. I just thought like that kind of humor was out of place here.
It's still just an insinuation, though. None of the characters call it a
Well, they
phallus or
say,
a
like,
dildo.
The billboard was defaced and they thought it was a prank, which
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
I
that's
thought-
what they thought.
Yeah. I thought that was them saying like, ooh, this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
We go back to the Evans house, and Diane has been paying attention. She notes that cute Liz Parker hasn't been calling around lately.
Oh, well.
So way to go, Diane. She didn't notice that her kids took a weekend trip to Skin City, Arizona, but she notices that swell little Parker girl doesn't call her little Maxie anymore.
Good for you, Diane. Also, Max, in an effort to not answer, with his mouth full, he's like, "Couldn't I have some more frittata?"
Frittata?
The way he says it.
It's so
frittata?
weird.
It's very weird.
But he can't because Diane vanishes into thin air.
Yeah.
Liz and Maria come back into town. They find that everyone's disappeared. And then the tour bus arrives with Nicholas and Ida. And it seems like this is just a busload of skins. Like they all, in their last-ditch effort to save themselves, just took this special bus to Roswell.
Yeah, they all went on it. But also, can I say, when Liz and Maria are going around, for like a small town that doesn't usually seem that congested, there are a hell of a lot of cars and strollers and bikes and like really all at the same time. They're all there at the same time.
Yep.
It's a Saturday morning. They're all heading to the farmer's market. Why not? So after we see Nicholas, we go to the credits. And then we come back to Jim and Kyle calling in the glowing green phallus of doom. And then Jim, I thought this was really out of character. Jim says to Kyle, you know what? If you laid off the mumbo jumbo, you might get a date every once in a while. And I was like, Jim wouldn't say this.
Rude.
This is mean.
That's not like Jim.
And unnecessary. And like, Kyle just went through this near-death experience. Jim was so freaked out. He's been so loving and supportive. And then he's just like, you're a hippie. Bleh.
He's really upset about that fish. He's like still really upset about it.
Yeah.
Also, he like complains about Kyle burning compost sticks, which like the only thing we could all think of was incense.
Yeah.
So I
and
guess
then he
he's talking
doesn't
about
like the
incense.
smell of the incense.
And Kyle's like, it's ilang, which he says elong, but I apparently am the only member of this podcast who had never heard of that. So I looked it up and it, ilang is a yellow star-shaped flower. It comes from the kananga tree. It's native to Southeast Asia, so like India, Philippines, Indonesia, and Queensland in Australia. It's used for its scent. Apparently it smells really good. It's in a lot of perfumes, including Chanel No. 5. And also it's used in essential oils, which I'm thinking he probably got from Maria because she is our essential oil dealer in town.
Yes. Or Maria's mom.
Yeah. There are a lot of benefits from it. They say it's good for skin. It can lower blood pressure and reduce depression and alleviate anxiety. So people use it for a lot of different things. But my understanding is in no way does it smell like compost.
No.
Yeah.
It is also, Aliza, supposed to be good for the libido.
Ooh.
So maybe this is Kyle's way of getting himself a date, Jim.
Yeah. I mean,
If Liz hadn't come over to try to have fake sex with him, he would have had something resembling a date with Tess. So
yes.
Kyle seems to be doing just fine for himself. And you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to go on dates, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
Jim.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you know what? Like, some people don't want to date. Some people, like, want to take a break from dating. Some people don't want to date ever. Like, not your business, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I think this is not written consistently with Jim's character.
Right.
Yeah. The other very important thing we find out in this exchange is that Hansen has an aficionado for frappuccinos. Deputy Hansen.
Very important. Any news, any information I can get about Hansen, I'll take it.
Yeah.
We don't know him very well. Also, we learned that he is not answering the radio.
Yeah.
Because,
Suspicious.
like we already know, everyone is gone who was inside the city limits.
Yeah, this is a very specific or precise spell or whatever it is that the phallus has cast.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, targets the city limits. It's like, all right, I can't go a centimeter outside. Boop, 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 boop. Very focused.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good magic. That the
Well,
aliens
Courtney
did.
does say later that Nicholas has a very powerful powers and brain, so
Yeah.
assumably this is Nicholas's doing to orchestrate this time dimensional shift around Roswell.
Back in the Evans house, Isabel has this really scary moment where she thinks Max has disappeared too,
Yeah.
because Max does not communicate. He just leaves the house without saying anything to her. I understand wanting to go check on the neighbors, but you, like, yell, going outside, gonna check on the neighborhood,
Yeah.
be back in a minute.
Yep. And Isabel, I mean, this is like a real panic that she has. And then when he comes back,
Yeah.
she makes a phone call. Who does she call? Who do we think she's calling?
I assumed it was Alex, because she doesn't seem to have any other friends anymore.
Right. Because at
Or
first
would
I
it be
thought
Michael?
Michael, but then it's like, no, but Michael would answer. Actually,
Right, and Max
Yeah.
calls Michael later.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe Alex.
yeah.
So in Michael's apartment, Courtney is just in his bathtub. I'm so bummed that we didn't get to see her regular form without the husk.
I know.
Because she has changed from her old husk to the husk that Michael stole.
Yep.
I would
Yeah.
have loved to see that process.
Yeah.
Hermit crab style.
Yeah.
But whatever the process is, it involves, like, poop brown water.
Yeah, I have two questions about this scene. First of all, why the hell is the water, like, opaque and brown? And two,
Yeah.
what the fuck is he doing in the bathroom with her while she's taking a fucking bath?
I mean, I feel like perhaps she submerged herself under the water to switch into the new husk.
But, like,
somehow,
why did she
but
do
now
it at
where's-
his house? Why did she need
Yeah.
to do it at his house?
And then where's the old husk?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, does the old husk just look like a dead body?
Or does it just look like a pile of skin? Did it? Maybe that's why the water is brown. Maybe after she
Ew.
changed out of the old husk, then it, like, disintegrated into the water because it didn't have a host to feed on anymore, and now the water is just, like, filled with
Dead
like,
skin cells.
husk particles.
Disgusting. So Courtney says that the husk that she's wearing wasn't fully mature, but they arrived on Harvest Day. So what? The
Yeah.
husk at that point was fully mature. That's why they were harvesting them.
That's
I
a
would
great
understand
point.
if they were like, oh, I don't have whatever technology I need to do the transition appropriately, so it's not going to work as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they just went with, oh, it wasn't mature, when we know that that's not the case.
I mean,
based on
maybe
the
it
last
was still a
episode.
few hours from being mature. Maybe the harvest was going to be at, like, midnight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the next day.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they just forgot.
It's entirely possible.
Yes.
Also, this phone call from Max, I found hilarious. Like, the dramatic phone call, he just says, meet us at the crash down right away, and then hangs up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you
That's all.
do have time to say a little bit more than that, I think.
It's like such a TV show thing, though. Like,
Yeah.
no one ever says goodbye.
No,
People
never.
are just like, we'll meet at the restaurant tonight. And the other person's like, I have all of the information that I require. I will meet you at the one restaurant at the precise time of tonight. Fantastic. And then the phone call's over. You're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, phone calls on TV are just not realistic.
Yeah. And then we get, we are on the street, and Liz and Maria are walking around still trying to figure out what's going on. And I have another question here, which is like, there seems to be this like startling moment, and then we like seem to like see them through the eyes of the skins perhaps. And I'm like, can the skins fucking turn invisible? What is going on? Like, why don't they see this skin that clearly sees them? I'm assuming that's what's going on, because
Yeah.
otherwise why would we be seeing them through this like weird garbled vision?
It was
I thought they were just hiding. It's what we've seen when they were spying on Michael and what we saw when they were spying on Nasato earlier. So I thought maybe they were just hiding behind something watching them.
I just thought I agree, though, that I thought it was kind of weird that, like, it wasn't really developed anymore, that they were, like, being followed or, you know, it just, I don't know. I found it kind of out of place.
Maybe they were, because then Nicholas and Ida show up at the crashdown a few minutes later.
That's true.
What I thought was weird here was when Liz picks up the skin, it crumbles in her hand. When Maria picked up the skin in the last episode, it didn't crumble for her.
Nope.
So
which we talked about.
Thought, okay, well, maybe it's because she's a human, but Liz is also human. So unless Max's alien powers have rubbed off on her somehow, then I don't know. I have such a hard time with this show deciding whether things are intentional or not.
Yeah, I don't think this was intentional. It's like, it doesn't make sense that it didn't crumble for Maria.
Okay.
This is a low-budget, late 90s TV show.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't have the CGI budget.
And I should also add to my description, it's a low-budget, late 90s teen TV show.
Yeah.
And I think those factors combined and the teen element, the production company is assuming that the viewership will not be paying as close attention to these things because the viewership is going to be more into the emotional drama of the situation. That's my theory.
It reminds me of a beautiful Taylor Swift song called Cardigan, where she says, when you are young, they assume you know nothing.
Yep, that's true.
So yeah, they just don't think, like, teenagers are going to catch it.
Yeah.
In this next scene at the crashdown, I don't know what took me so long, but I finally like looked at Isabel's outfit and was like, why is she wearing a mom sweater?
Yeah.
And like, I don't mind mom sweaters. Like, I love wearing mom sweaters, but it just seems like out of character for Isabel.
But yeah, she's an 18-year-old high school student wearing a baggy tan mom sweater.
Whereas sometimes she wears like leather pants.
Yeah.
Well, she was having a family breakfast at home, and maybe that was just her lounging around the house outfit before she changed into her leather hanging out outside outfit.
Yeah, I still thought it was weird.
I like here that Michael has like kind of a smart, clever conclusion where he immediately figures out that someone made this happen. This isn't like some weird natural phenomenon. And that they've done it to try and single out the aliens. We don't often see Michael get these moments where he gets to be like, I have figured something out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I appreciate that he gets to do that here.
Same. But his theory's out the window momentarily when Liz and Maria show up.
Well, yeah. Liz comes in and I feel really sad for her because she's like, what do you mean everyone's gone? Are they dead? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, she's like very scared.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would be too.
And Maria tries calling Alex and then finds the CD that he burned for her.
Yeah, that he was going to give to her. And she's like, oh my God, he was here and now he's gone.
Aww. Isabel says they need to figure out who did this, and Liz is like, well, we know who did it, it's the skins. And I feel like that would have been Isabel's first guess, too. I don't think Isabel would have been like, oh, we have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, we just murdered a bunch of people. I wonder who is now coming after us.
Maybe all those people.
Right. And Tess comes in and is like yelling at Courtney, like accusing her, being like, this is all her fault. Your people, blah, blah, blah. When like, come on, Courtney just like assisted you guys. She was the one that broke the husk machine, sacrificing herself. So like, give her a break.
You would think Tess would have a little bit more sympathy for the new cute blonde alien who everyone is into. Relatable, Tess?
No, she's like, there is only room for one cute blonde alien, and it's me.
Maybe she sees this as her opportunity to turn everyone against someone else. She's like, no, she's the bad new cute blonde alien, not me. I'm the old cute blonde alien now.
I mean, honestly, that is a thing. I mean, in many countries, like an immigrant group comes, they get treated like shit by the group that's already there. Then a new group comes, and that immigrant group who is treated by like shit treats the new group like shit.
Yep.
That's the history of so many countries. So it's kind of just reminded me of that.
I do wish that we could just see some of the female characters on this show not always like squabbling with each other and blaming each other. Just like working together.
Yeah.
You know, being friends.
Yeah.
So Nicholas and Ida come in, they hide in the bathroom, and here we get the third episode in a row with an Elvis reference. Where Maria says, oh, please don't let me die like Elvis, meaning in a bathroom. But this is the 3rd episode. Like, we're on an Elvis kick.
The writers must like Elvis.
I guess.
Also, did anyone catch Maria sniffing her essential oils in the bathroom?
Yes, I did.
I also, did they really all have to go into the bathroom if Tess is using her mind warp anyway? Maybe it's easier if they're all together.
Maybe it was easier... Yeah, to just change, because all she changed was she made that door look like a mirror, which maybe was easier than making 6 people or however many invisible.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, that does seem like an easier task.
Still really impressive, though. She does a great job, and it's clearly really hard on her. When they come out, she says, "I've never come up against power like that before. It feels like someone took a sledgehammer to my head." And Max is rubbing her arm, and he's concerned, and then he sees Liz walk away, and he's like, "Oh, bye!"
Bye! Yep.
Also, they're looking in the mirror, and Ida tells Nicholas, don't pick. And then he said, he's like, "You're really peeling." And he says, "Let's get you back to the moisture chamber." To which I say, what?
Yeah, where's the moisture chamber?
My theory is that the bus is the moisture chamber, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe.
Because that's their home base here. They keep going back to the bus.
I also like her being like, why couldn't these kids be from Seattle?
Yeah.
Because it rains there a lot.
And then they wouldn't have had to be camped out in Copper Summit, Arizona to be near the site of the alien crash.
Yeah.
If you're a species that really thrives on moisture, maybe Arizona wasn't your best bet?
Yeah.
No.
You think?
Because it's not like it was even you could drive there in a day, but it's not like it was just down the road from Roswell where they can keep a close eye on the situation. It's 8 hours away.
Also, it seems like it becomes clear that Nicholas is in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is he in a child's body? How did this happen?
It's funny.
Initially?
Well, my question was more all right, I don't know how it happened. That doesn't make sense. But also, why does he call Ida Mom?
Yeah.
Because they've lived in that skin city, it seems like, their whole existence. So it's not like they need to pretend for any humans, because there aren't any humans there.
Maybe the alien inside of Ida's skin suit really is his mother. In their home planet also.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think.
It just seems weird to me. Because, she addresses him as their leader. She calls him Sir.
Yeah, weird.
But she could still also be his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever rank he's at, he could call her mom, but she would still have to call him Sir or leader. I don't know. We don't know the politics of their planet.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we don't know, how families work there. But he does, interact with her a little later in a way that, seems like a teenage boy interacting with his mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Upstairs in Liz's room, she's, smelling her mom's sweater. And we get a reference to another Elvis. A different
Elvis.
And because she says that her mom always played Elvis Costello on Laundry Day.
Yeah,
Aww.
when we got into this scene in the streaming version, I found it a little jarring. And I was like, well, it is definitely Elvis Costello. But I looked it up, and this is the song still. The song in the original was Allison. And I think it's a much better fit for this scene. So I guess they couldn't get the rights to that. I think that's a better known song. So it did flow, I think, a lot better with the original song. So there's a musical change that had an impact. But Max is there for Liz, supporting her until he remembers, oh, yeah, I saw her with another dude. My feelings are more important than hers. Bye.
Yeah, he sees her bed and is triggered by it and then has to leave.
You're not dating. You weren't dating then either.
Yeah.
Give it up.
Yeah, this is just none of his business. But he gets called away anyway because Courtney's collapsed, so they take her upstairs, and Maria's like, let's get her naked. I'm not gay, what?
Yeah.
What? Huh? No! I do love in this scene, though, Isabel.
Yes, how Isabel pushes them out with telekinesis, closes the door.
Yeah.
And she does it so, nonchalantly. She doesn't even, she, barely even looks at them. She, kind of just does it and turns back around.
She's like, get out. Leave us be. We will handle this. Stop looking at the naked girl. Bye.
Yeah. Even though Michael had just been hanging out with her while she was bathing.
Also, more weird colored water. The water that comes out of the tap is yellowy, rusty. And then in the next scene, after they've thrown the vitamins in it, then it's this nice blue color. They put a bath bomb in there.
They also just throw the vitamins in. They don't open up the capsules to let the actual powder out. They just throw handfuls of vitamins.
Which they would dissolve after a little time.
I mean, it would be a lot quicker if you just open it up and let the contents out. Liz says that the husk is starving and is looking at Courtney's thighs like they're 2 canned hams, which Courtney takes great offense to. Does Courtney's regular form even have thighs? What is a canned ham?
Yeah, no, I don't know what a canned ham is.
Not eat them all the time? There's so many things about this that I didn't understand. Like, the husk is hungry? Like, was it because... So this is why I feel like it would have made more sense to say, like, we didn't get to form the connection properly. Because if they have some sort of symbiotic relationship with the husk, like, cool, maybe that was disrupted and that's why the husk is trying to eat her. Because otherwise, like, aren't their husks just always in this weird life or death competition with them? Like, if the relationship truly is parasitic, which is what Courtney said, it would make sense that there was some, like, fighting going on there. But, like, this just seems very... It's a lot.
I thought their logic in this scene made no sense. All the girls being like, well, we have to feed it because it's eating her. And I don't know. And Maria throws a whole bunch of stuff in there, including Pamperin. And Pamperin sounded familiar to me, but I'm like, what's Pamperin? Like, it's for a period.
It's PMS meds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I looked it up. It's just Excedrin. It's aspirin, acetaminophen, and caffeine. It's the same thing as Excedrin.
But it's marketed for menstrual issues.
It's probably like pink.
Yeah.
Because you could probably charge more for it if you market it towards traditionally female-coded people.
The pharmaceutical industry.
But I love that Maria, like, has all these things, and everyone's kind of looking at her, and she's like, what? I was dating Michael Guerin. Like, that's an explanation.
Yeah. It's weird, like
Michael gave me period cramps. Duh.
Michael gave me depression. I'm taking St. John's wort.
It's weird. Like, lately, sometimes she refers to him as her boyfriend, and then other times she's like, I was dating Michael Guerin. It's, like, very unclear. Like, they're not together, but they, like, kind of are.
But they still care about each other, as evidenced by, like, them hugging when they get to the restaurant and realize that Liz and Maria are okay, and...
Yet he has some connection with Courtney. There's something there.
Yes, as Max points out, when out on the balcony, he accuses Michael of sleeping with the enemy. I'm just like, Max, shut up, Max.
Come on. Fuck Max. Although Michael makes it clear that they didn't sleep together. If he's telling the truth, he's like, no, I didn't.
But, like, this is none of Max's business, and it doesn't really have anything to do with anything.
Nope, not Max's business. And Michael points it out. He's like, since when are you involved in my social life? Like, why do you care? It's not your business.
Like, again, Max, who's the one who spilled our lifelong secret without consulting anyone else?
That'd be you, buddy. That'd be you.
I love her deck with the plants and the chaise lounge and, like, balls in a bird cage. You know, all the things that she has there.
I want that patio, please.
Well, it also teleports, which is cool, because it looks very different than it did in Season 1. And in End of the World, when Max showed up with his mariachi band, we discovered that it also looks out on a different alleyway than it did before. It used to look out on the street. So this is like a magical balcony.
Yeah.
Just goes where you need it. It looks how you need it to. It's pretty special. Maybe it's like part of the aliens world and it can time shift, phase, jump, whatever. Yeah. Inside, the nutrient bath has worked. And Tess is like, oh, we thought this would work and this worked, which must mean that Courtney is tricking us?
Yeah.
This makes no sense. She's like, oh, this I've fallen and I can't get up routine seems a little too convenient.
Life alert.
Yeah, but why? And then they're like, I know, let's torture Courtney. When Courtney is like, I will tell you whatever you need to know. And they're like, yeah, you will, because we're going to torture you. I'm like, wait, but she just said okay, well.
Yeah, I don't like Tess here very much at all, and everyone else is just going along with it.
Some of the information that Courtney gives us here, which she definitely would have given regardless, is that Nicholas has some kind of device, the glowing green phallus of doom, as we know, that makes time exist in multiple subset dimensions simultaneously, and so she suspects that the humans have shifted to another dimension or another plane of existence or something that you shouldn't think too hard about.
Yeah.
But that's where they have gone. They're not dead.
Yeah, just in another dimension. Also, to get this information out of her, Tess starts draining the tub. They're torturing her for information.
Yeah.
That she was willing to give them. Liz and Maria go back downstairs. They get attacked by a skin, but the sheriff just appears out of nowhere and shoots him, which doesn't seem to have much of an effect.
Yeah. No, it does not. The skin pops right back up and takes out Valenti.
And so this leads Max to ask, if guns don't work, how do we kill them? And I was like, sweetie, was guns ever part of your plan? See, like, darn it, there goes plan A, guns.
It's true. Like, I'm sorry, since when do you all have guns? Valenti's the only one with a gun.
I mean, I guess they were just... Valenti could have shot them all.
Sure. But luckily he won't have to because they conveniently have a self-destruct mechanism built into their backs. Dear God, why?
Because there has to be, like, that's... I feel like that little valve is, like, where the, like, alien goop that's, like, living inside of the husk, like, crawled into the husk through that little valve. And you
that noise,
seal it
LaRena.
up. Sorry.
I did think, like, Courtney telling them about this self-destruct mechanism, it just shows even more that she's trustworthy. She just told them, like, how to kill her.
Yeah.
You know, like, she is on the right side here.
Yeah, we could all be a little nicer to Courtney.
Yes, that's for sure. But then she, you know, is explaining something and uses a word that she shouldn't have used. She's explaining how Nicholas can get inside your mind, and she says, he rapes you of your memories and thoughts. No.
I don't like it.
Doesn't even make sense. It is not a word that should be used lightly or out of context. It means sexual assault, period.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but the information that she gives us is important, which is that she says Nicholas can do all the things you can times 1,000. So he has all the same powers as them, theoretically, plus he can, like, get in your head and mess with your thoughts and your memories.
Yeah.
So he seems pretty formidable.
Yes.
They decide they're going to go over to the UFO Center, and Kyle is like, what about me? And Max says, you're not someone I trust. I'm like, Max, it's time to put on your big boy pants and get over it.
Like, you need everyone.
You have no right to try to decide what Liz should or shouldn't do and who Liz should or shouldn't do things with. It's none of your business.
Yep.
She broke up with you and you haven't let it go. And it's months later. It's November. And she broke up with him at the end of the previous school year. So what, in like May, June?
Yeah, and then didn't speak to him for the entire summer. And he's now like, well, I'm mad at you for that thing that you did while I was spying on you through your bedroom window.
Yep.
Oh, Max.
He doesn't get any better in the next scene. They go to the alley across from the UFO Center, and they're, like, going across the street in little groups. Isabel says, Max, if I ask you to do something, will you just do it? No questions asked? And Max nods yes, and then she tells him what she wants him to do, and he immediately starts asking questions.
Yeah.
Just don't agree to it if you're not going to do it.
Yeah. And Isabel still is not ready to tell him about the whole Philandra information and give up the fact that she was untrustworthy in her other world, which is kind of making her untrustworthy now. But let's not think too hard about that.
So Isabel's like, well, I'll just take care of things myself then. And she finds Nicholas playing with a remote control car.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice.
They're really going out of their way to make it seem like he is a child.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you've been, like, stuck in this body for 50 years and have been pretending to be a child for 50 years, maybe you've discovered some things about being a child that you like remote control cars.
Yeah.
Maybe he genuinely enjoys
remote
them.
control cars are cool. I mean, if it were today, he would have been flying a drone around, you know? A little quadcopter.
Back at the UFO Center, Courtney tells Michael she's dying, and the only way to save her has something to do with the Granilith. This will be relevant later.
Yes.
She also, she looks so weird. You know, Ida was peeling, and it, made sense. But Courtney, it's she just has, these blisters, and, she just looks weird.
Yeah.
And, her veins are popping.
Yeah.
And she gets even grosser looking in the next...
Yeah.
Oh, she sure
does.
does.
See her. She's looking real gross.
When it starts affecting her teeth.
Yeah. Ugh. Yep.
Ugh. But in the back room, Liz is telling Kyle, she's like, I'm science girl, remember? Cool. There was an electric disturbance. Kyle says that this happened right about when everyone went poof.
Yep, right around 10:30, which means makes me wonder how early did Liz and Maria have to start work on a Saturday morning if they were already on their lunch break and coming back from their lunch break at 10:30 in the morning.
It's a diner. I mean, diners open super early.
Yeah. I just like you're gonna have your high school students do the open shift. Honestly, that just seems cruel and unusual. What about that old lady who takes lots of smoke breaks? Make her open at 6 a.m.
Jim comes in and wants to talk to Kyle and sort of redeems himself for the earlier moment.
Yeah.
We also get more information about the mom we haven't heard too much about. She left when Kyle was 6 and apparently hasn't been part of his life since then, which is a bummer for Kyle.
Yeah.
But the next night, Kyle lent Mr. Squishles to Jim so he wouldn't have to sleep alone.
It's so
He's
sweet.
just such a sweetheart.
See, Kyle has always had
kid.
this really sweet little undercurrent. He just was a dick in season 1.
Yeah. And when this scene first started, I was like, did Jim just run across the street like he's so out of breath? But then we discover it's because he seems to know that this is something's happening. Away. And he's trying to cling to the memories of Kyle to keep himself tethered to this plane of existence.
Or trying to, get things off of his chest.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he feels the end coming, and he wants to make sure that Kyle knows that he's loved and important, especially after their fight of the morning, I feel like.
And do you remember what Jim was like at the beginning of the show? Like, totally ignoring Kyle, not really giving a shit. Like, Kyle would come to his office, and he would just, kind of brush him aside. And, I feel like he has come light years. And, yes, at the beginning of the episode, he was, being kind of shitty. But with Kyle, dying and the way that Jim has kind of developed, I feel like he has come to express his love for Kyle more verbally. And it's great.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten a lot more open with him, I think, since the trauma of the finale. And his little line before he goes poof, he says, "I'm in awe of you every day, son, and I apologize for not recognizing the man that you're becoming, because you're a darn good one." Oh, I was like, yeah, he is.
It's so cute.
Jim.
Oh, and now Valenti's gone. And we just got him back. He's been missing a few episodes.
I know. What the hell? Did anyone else think that this skin woman who came in, first she was in the window, then she doesn't, but I didn't see that. I just saw her, come attack. Did anyone else think that was Ida?
It's just some other old lady.
I thought it was Ida and then was so confused when we then saw her later, because it was wasn't she just killed? That I rewound and was like, oh, it's a different lady.
She's a lot more petite than Ida.
Yeah.
I love that moment though with her posing in the window thing like a painting, and then like Maria wanders down and then wanders back and then notices the painting is empty. I love that whole little moment.
And Tess just without hesitation kicks the self-destruct button and kills this skin.
Yeah.
We're all just killing people left and right.
Yep, they're under attack. It's kill or be killed.
That was
now.
a great kick though.
It was quite impressive.
Also, I thought that this showed how Tess is kind of getting incorporated into the group, because Maria, the second the woman pushes her down, she yells Tess, because she knows that Tess is the closest. But the fact that she sees Tess as someone who can help her, I thought showed that closeness.
Season 1 Tess might have been you're a human, what do I care about you? But season 2 Tess is just there for her and does what needs to be done.
Yeah, she's one of the Scoobies.
She's one of the pod squad.
So Max decides that they're going to head to the school because it's their turf. A school is one of the more difficult buildings to defend. Why not just go to one of your houses? Or let's leave town. Or anything other than the biggest building I can think of with multiple points of entry.
Yeah. Also, because it's our turf. I'm sorry, is the Crashdown not your turf? Is the UFO Center not your turf? Everything's their turf.
Well, those places have been infiltrated already, so they need to find a new hideout.
Yeah.
But I don't get it, even for from the show's perspective. I don't get why they wanted to do it, why they needed to go to that set. I don't know. They just needed a big empty space, I guess.
Yeah, a big space for the big firebomb. That's gonna happen later for that beautiful CGI.
Oh my gosh. Liz has another science moment where she posits that the skin's time dimension is catching up with the humans, and that's why Jim disappeared. And Kyle is holding it together really well after just watching his father blink out of existence. He notices the postcard and is like, aha, the glowing green phallus of doom. And this is...
How could I forget that large phallus?
Why? They know now that the humans can disappear at any moment, and their big plan is to send 3 humans who can disappear at any moment to save the
to
world.
fix the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
No aliens are going to go and back them up and be there as a fallback. It's just disappearing humans are best.
And what about sticking together?
Yeah, it was not smart.
Kyle does get a really fun line when Max is like, I'm in charge, meh, meh, meh. And Kyle is like, hey, I've been really nice about following your orders, Senor Presidente.
Yes.
But if I can do something to help bring some people back or ensure that Liz, Maria, and I live to see another day, I'm going to do it. I was like, cool,
Yeah.
cool. But then, like, Max seems like he's like, okay, like, I get it. And then Kyle is like, I'll take care of her. And I wanted Liz to be like, yeah, I can take care of myself, thanks.
Yeah, like, I don't need you.
I don't need either of you.
Yeah, it's like passing her from one guy to the other. It's like, okay, you were taking care of her, now I'll take care of her.
Right.
It's like the whole thing of like a father giving away his daughter at her wedding.
No thanks.
Like, I hate that idea.
Yeah.
And I say, fuck that.
And here's a place where Michael does a lot better than Max, and he's really sweet with Maria. And he's like, I'll
yeah.
see you soon. And she's sort of like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he's like, no, like, I mean it. I'm telling you that we are going to see each other again. He's trying to reassure her. It's nice.
Yeah.
it's
I
sweet.
like that moment too.
Yeah, like he's been bonding with Courtney or whatever, but he still clearly has something with Maria.
Mm-hmm.
He cares about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has confidence in them that they will solve the problem and that they will all be okay. They'll all be safe. And he's like reassuring her and sharing that confidence with her.
It's like, don't worry. Even though this is the dumbest plan in the world, I think we'll see each other again.
Yeah. What the hell? It was so stupid. Send one alien with them.
Right.
Like, you've got a bunch of aliens. Send at least one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very stupid. Also, you know what else is stupid? Courtney just leaving and sitting behind a building.
Well, do we think she's left, or do we think, like, Nicholas has surreptitiously come in and captured her? That's what I assumed.
Oh. I thought she like, left.
I thought she's going to try and make it to the Granilith.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
But she obviously, like, is already too far gone to make it to the Granilith because, she only makes it outside.
Yeah. But first we get this scene on the bus.
On the special bus.
Mm-hmm.
And Ida with this great line here. She's, like, talking to Isabel, and she's like, you're trying to ambush my baby? I should pull out your filthy eyes and grind them to dust.
Yeah, that's intense.
Whoa.
I don't know how you do it on your planet, Ida, but that's not normally something we do here.
Also, like, not how eyes work.
You'd have to dry him out first.
Yeah. She's gonna
put them in the, like, dehydration iron, or, put them in the dehydration oven, like, you know how you make dried fruit, dry them out.
Oh, God. Well, the skins just, like, dissolve into dust when they die, so maybe she thinks that that's what everyone does when they die.
Yeah, probably. I don't think they know how, like, human bodies work, just their husks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Isabel then is like, hey, Nicholas.
Get your mama
like,
out of
I
here.
remember.
Yet she tells him, you awakened something in me.
And he's like, oh, our forbidden meetings.
Yeah. So, okay. So she was in, Valandra was engaged to whatever version of Michael, had a lover named Kavar, who she betrayed everyone for, and was boinking Nicholas on the side. All right.
Get it, Valandra.
This kind of makes the version of Isabel in Summer of 47 make more sense.
So this is when I thought Nicholas was acting like a teen, because Ida comes in and like knocks Isabel out, and he's like, Mom, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
I just like thought he was very teenager here.
Yeah, but also, like, what was Isabel's plan? Like, she knew Ida was still there. I don't know what she was aiming for with this.
I mean, she got herself out of the cuffs, so that was a start.
Yeah,
but then she just got knocked out, and then Nicholas is like, now she's no good at all. And I was like, honey, she's gonna wake up again. Like, what?
Right.
What? Okay.
Now I can never get the information I want.
Yeah. So instead, he's like, okay, well, let's kill every last one of them. Which I also, like, what is that going to
Which will totally
accomplish?
get you some information you need.
I don't understand any of this. What is anyone's plan for anything ever?
He's pissed. I thought that was also like a teenage boy move, just kind of like an immature, like, well, if I can't get what I want, I'll just ruin it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A little petulant little baby.
Yeah. Also, why is Kyle driving the Jetta? Why are boys always driving girls' cars?
Maybe Maria's too freaked out.
But But also in this show, they don't always do that. Sometimes girls are driving, so I'll give them that.
And I mean, Liz was driving Max's Jeep in the last episode, so...
Well, it's a good thing Liz isn't driving the Jetta, because she's our first one to poof away after she has this really sweet exchange with Kyle, where Maria's like, oh, if we get out of this, I'm going to spend more time with my mom and write to my grandma. And Liz is like, oh my god, I have to set the record straight with Max. And Kyle says, he's Max. He'll always know, right? I was like, oh, Kyle.
Aww.
It's very nice. But then Liz vanishes, so she doesn't have a chance to absorb this message.
I feel like much like with Valenti, like she seems to have some sort of feeling that she's on her way out and she's trying to set the record straight before she goes. Like he wanted to make sure that Kyle knew how much he cared about him and loved him, and she's kind of in the same boat. She like wants to make sure the record is set straight before she poofs.
Mm-hmm. So Kyle and Maria get to the billboard and have the best exchange where they're like, okay, we gotta like disrupt the electric flow. And Maria says, so how does electricity work? And Kyle says, why are you looking at me? We were both in the same remedial science class for 3 years. This was clearly not a very good teacher if they were in remedial for 3 years straight. Oh boy.
Although, to be fair, like, I didn't, I mean, maybe I just don't remember high school science that much, but, like, I don't think that I would have known, like, about electricity and this and that.
And then there's a skin.
Uh-oh. I love Kyle in this, too, though.
Oh, it's the best. He says, Buddha, forgive me, but I'm going to kick your ass.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, Buddha is not like Jesus. Like, you don't get forgiveness from Buddha. You're not praying to Buddha.
But I love it, though, because, like, there's the phrase, like, God forgive me, which is, like,
adorable.
Really common phrase. But, like, he believes in Buddha. Like, Buddha forgive me.
And so now Kyle gets added to the list of people who have killed, which is growing ever longer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kill or be killed, I'm telling you.
And then we see Nicholas doing his mind drain thing on Courtney, and Courtney sacrifices herself so that he won't find out where the Granilith is, which we find out here. Michael told her where it was, which is huge. Yeah. It means that he trusted her. And we see that trust was justified because she self-destructs rather than give away their secrets.
Yeah.
Aww.
She clearly was very trustworthy. And, like, she reveres Michael. Like, she follows him politically. And
with a love shrine. Okay.
Oh, for sure. No. She's very much into him more than just politically. But I mean, she's devoted to him enough to kill herself. Instead of sharing his secret. Also, before she was like, take something heavy and hit this spot as hard as you can. And then she just reaches back and like touches it and is dead.
That's fine.
But it seems to be like a valve of some sort. So she can probably like twist
like
and release.
It,
like, yeah.
Or she's just in such a weakened state that it's just a little boop. Did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, I thought it was funny when Nicholas touches her chin and then is like, ugh, and like wipes his hand on her shirt. It's like, clearly she's just like so gross right now. And her teeth are rotting. It's just gross.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, the husk is not happy.
Nicholas is also, I thought this is interesting. He also like clearly admires her move to kill herself. He's like, that's a soldier.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
he like
damn.
he sees that as like an impressive thing to have done.
Over at school though, we find that Tess still thinks that Courtney has betrayed them to Nicholas. But then Nicholas shows up and he like ties them all up and tells them like, hey, no, Courtney sacrificed herself to protect all of you. I wish we got like a little bit more of a reaction from Michael on that one. But he also, Nicholas here calls Isabel Valandra.
Which is not lost on Max.
Right. And Nicholas says to Michael, by the way, love the hair. Hope you win. And I was like,
I know, it's so good.
Okay.
So good. Also, did any of you notice that, like, these, I guess pyre isn't the right word, but, like, these columns they have them on, which clearly, like, weren't really there. They, like, made them there. But also, each one of them has a spotlight on them. If you look, like, each one of them tied up to the thing has a spotlight. I just think it's great.
I mean, if you're going to torture people, you might as well do it with dramatic lighting.
Exactly. They're like, let's create these things we can tie them to, but also let's create this great lighting for it.
Yeah, let's just consider it.
Love it.
When you have as much power as Nicholas, why not?
So he's torturing the other three to get Max to talk, and Max immediately is like, yep, let's go. I'll take you to the Granilith, but let the other ones alone. And, like, I don't know why Nicholas just didn't do this in the first place, because he's like, oh, okay, well, no, I can just steal the information from your brain. I don't need you to take me anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And then we head back to Maria's car, and I love Maria here. She's, like, freaked out, but she's like, I gotta keep it together! And she saves them just in time. Just as she goes poof, she manages to get the jumper cables all set up to disrupt the electrical flow, and...
And she does this by connecting the red clamp and the black clamp, which anyone who's listening, please know that you can never do that.
Yeah, they're not supposed to touch each other.
No, they're not. If they're once they're like connected to a battery. You know, if there's no electricity flowing through them, whatever. Basically, any contact between the clamps can produce a spark, which will burn your hands, or worse, it can ignite flammable liquids in the engine, and the car can blow up. So she's lucky that she only blew up a phallus.
Yeah, and not her car and herself, and...
So it worked for this, but don't ever do that.
But don't do this. Don't try it at home, kids.
Yeah.
Don't connect your jumper cables back in on themselves while connected to a car to disrupt a giant phallus of doom.
Granted, I don't think any of us are going to have to blow up a giant phallus of doom, a glowing phallus of doom.
I don't know, Aliza. That's like on my daily to-do list.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind. Sorry. I can only speak for myself.
It's a recurring task in my Outlook calendar.
Got it.
And at school, things are getting worse and they're torturing. And then Tess all of a sudden screams and then gasps and then fireball.
Okay, this scene was supposed to be like hysterically funny, right?
I think it was supposed to be serious. Okay. But the CGI is atrocious.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, the like fireball. This is like, imagine if Game of Thrones had this level of CGI when Daenerys is like on fire. What a different impact that show.
What, like at the beginning? At the beginning when she was in fire?
Yeah, it's like I have the screenshots of it so you can see it like frame by frame where it's just like growing and like it's so bad. So she later says like she just wanted to scare them by making them see fire, but then the fire manifested physically and it rushes past her but doesn't hurt any of our aliens. It like targets any the skin somehow.
Yeah. Well, she's clearly more powerful than she realizes. Yeah. You know, like she clearly doesn't know the extent of her power yet because she didn't expect that to happen. I don't think any of them do.
That's been obvious a few times with, Nicholas has all the same powers, but times 1,000, and even Naseto told Michael in the previous season that, you could be so much more powerful than you are. I don't remember exactly the way he says it, but he basically implies they could be way more powerful if they honed their magic.
But we were led to believe that like Tess is more in control of her powers because of being raised by Naseto. Remember, she was like teaching Michael how to use his powers. But it's clear that like she also doesn't even know what she can do. Yeah.
So now Courtney triggered the like death of all of the husks, and Tess has now triggered the death of all of the skins. So like genocide, just complete genocide of whatever the skins race was.
Right, and Nicholas, Ida, like these are the ones who did the bad things. The people who, the blonde woman who ran at them, the guy in the crash down, but everybody else didn't like actively try to hurt them.
And Max has
killed them all.
1 second of being like, "Wow, Tess, you saved us, great work," and then he's like, "Valandra? Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
What is this?
Yes.
And then we get the best moment of the entire episode. Because we get to see Alex, who is complaining about his pancakes being cold. And of course, we know why his pancakes are cold, but he doesn't.
And Jim is so happy to see him, and Alex is so confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like so sentimental. It's cute.
Yeah. And Alex is just like, okay, buddy. Yeah, sure.
I would also think that Jim would not sit down with Alex. He would be like, cool, you're back. Where is Kyle?
Yeah. Where be my son?
Because, like, do we think that they all just came back wherever they poofed away? He would have probably, like, come back to the UFO center and been like, shoot, Kyle's not here. Like, let me go check the crash down. But I feel like he wouldn't have just been like, oh, okay, Alex is here. Yeah. Probably Kyle's out somewhere, whatever. I'm cool. who would have been like, I'm gonna go find him. I'm gonna go give him Mr. Squishles.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, Izzy runs home to check on her mom and discovers that her mom is back.
Yeah.
With these weird-ass gloves.
Gloves so much.
Yeah, her like, dish gloves with nails and a ring. It's like, oh, you
So
can't be
weird.
not feminine
I
for
feel like
even
that's
a second.
such a 2000 thing. Like, she probably saw those in her Martha Stewart magazine in an ad somewhere and was like, yes, classy dishwashing gloves for a classy lady like Diane Evans.
Like, I picture, like, one of the kids getting them for her as, like, a weird, like, Mother's Day or Christmas gift or something. Like, what do we get Mom? I don't know. Like, look at these dishwashing gloves. Like,
there's a little parallel here where in the crash down, like, Jim was happy to see Alex. Alex was confused. And here, like, Isabel's so happy to see Diane. And Diane is just like, okay, yep. I will take affection from you wherever I can get it, teenage daughter, but I'm very confused.
Yep.
Yeah. And something that I don't get is, like, what did all the humans think when they came back? Like, nobody is reacting to the fact that, like, there was a broken dish, or the cars had all crashed into each other, or everything,
and
you know, like...
hours and hours seem to have passed if you look at a watch.
Nobody
or
really
clock.
notices.
Unanswered questions.
One of many.
Yeah. I love seeing Liz and Maria's affection, though, out by the billboard. We see them hugging and jumping up and down and happy, and then, like, Kyle getting in on the joyous action, just, like, awkwardly.
It's adorable.
Like, hi! Yeah.
And then we finish up with this little scene of Max and Tess walking through the park. And, like, again, Tess, just like Isabel did at the beginning of the episode, Tess is feeling terrible about having killed all of these people. And Max is totally oblivious. Max is just like, could you do it again?
Yep.
And Tess is like, no, I don't want to.
Like, I don't want to be out of control.
Yeah.
That was not my intent.
Right, she didn't mean to kill all those people.
Is this supposed to be Nicholas scooting on by?
It's supposed to either be him or, like, leave them questioning, wait, was that Nicholas? Because we didn't see him all that well. But it, like, leaves the possibility.
And we don't see the face, but yeah.
Also, which reminds me, I forgot to bring this up, but, you know, everyone else was peeling. Ida's peeling. All the people who attacked them, their skin's peeling. Nicholas didn't seem to be peeling at any point.
Nope.
You know, and, like, it's implied that he's more powerful than everyone else, but, like, was he not dying like they were? So this kind of also leaves me questioning of, like, did he not die with the rest of them?
It's a good question. I don't know. I had a lot of unanswered questions for this, but a lot of them had to do with that time phase thing that we just talked about. So, like, pancakes and frittatas apparently can cope with existing across multiple time phases, but humans can't. So it seems like no time has passed for the humans. So, like, I don't know, did the clocks even move forward? Who knows? It's like the objects that they left behind.
Maybe not.
But here's my question. So, like, Aliza, you mentioned, like, the cars rolled on. Did the people who were driving those reappear at the spot where they had been and just, like, fall to the floor, to the ground?
Just, like,
because this leaves me extremely concerned about the baby whose carriage Maria knocked over at the beginning. Did that baby just reappear 2 feet off the ground and then fall into the asphalt?
On the fucking pavement? Oh my god. Yeah, why would it show up in a stroller that, like, has moved? You would think they would show up exactly where they left off.
Yeah. So, like, are there all these people just, like, poofing back into existence on the highway and then getting mowed down by a car? Because that wouldn't be fun.
Oof. I think it's better for us not to think about the logistics of this.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other specific unanswered questions? I feel like we're getting better at just integrating our questions in as we talk throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Well, then let's move on to Hot and Saucy.
Now let's see who's hot and saucy.
So I debated between two things. One of them was just Maria's braids, because I really like them. I like her look in this episode. I think the braids are, like, really cute and classy. But I guess I'll go with Michael when he's, like, comforting to Maria and confident that she's going to come back to him again. That's my moment. It's like him offering comfort and giving her confidence in the mission that she has to complete.
I went with Jim Valenti, shocking to everyone, for that little moment where he expresses his feelings to Kyle, like when he thinks that he's dying or whatever, like on the precipice, his thought is like, I have to let my son know that I love him and I'm proud of him and I appreciate him. It's very nice. Mm-hmm. And I really want to know more about Kyle's mom. She is missing out on getting to know a great kid.
Her loss.
And this leads to my choice, which I know it's a little cliche, it's a little obvious, but I just loved Kyle's line of, Buddha, forgive me, but I'm going to kick your ass.
That was great.
Because, like, he's a peaceful guy, but when it comes to, like, protecting himself and his friends, he'll do what needs to be done.
Yeah, I like that.
He knows that they need to do this to bring his dad back, too. So, like, everyone is at stake here, and he's just like, all right, I gotta do this thing. I'm gonna do the thing. Yeah, so now Michael has killed, Isabel has killed, Tess has killed, Kyle has killed. Of our aliens, Max is the only one that we haven't seen kill someone.
Huh, I guess that's true.
Okay. Well, our last order of business then is Lisa's predictions.
Oh boy.
My favorite part. So, Lisa, our next episode title is Meet the Dupes. What do you foresee happening for our heroes and heroines based only on that episode title?
So when I think of dupes, it's either people who have been tricked, like duped, or duplicates. Based on what we know about the extra pods that crashed to Earth, I'm guessing that it's duplicates and that they're other clones of the Royal Four and that we're going to get to see our actors in different roles, which is always fun. Especially for Jason Behr. Like, I really just feel like Jason Behr needs to have more fun in this show, and he only gets to have fun when they let him play a different character, because Max is so serious all the time. So I hope that the other like clone version of Max is just like a super fun, easygoing, laid back, chill kind of guy who's just like, well, I guess he's not going to be a stoner because it was early 2000s WB show, but like I want him to just be like super chill and just like go with the flow. Don't worry about things. Let's all make decisions by consensus. No one's in charge, you know? Somehow I doubt it, but that's what I want.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I like your predictions,
and
though.
I feel very confident that whatever happens, we will see Isabel in more leather.
I fucking hope so.
Yep. I like leather.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday, December 8th with Season 2, Episode 8, Meet the Dupes.
You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Roswell Hot Sauce. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Roswell Hot Sauce.
As always, you can find show notes and more information at our website, roswellhotsauce.com, and email us at roswellhotsauce@gmail.com.
Pass the Hot Sauce is produced and edited by Ashley Hullett. Our theme music is by David Belcourt, and our logo was designed by Billy Murray.
Until next time.
Love the hair. Hope you win.